Hello and welcome back to the coal shed that's now in the garage. Still got a few things to do today. The brakes took me a long time to get sorted the other day, although they're still working well, so I'm classing that as a success for the moment. And they're still not counting me chickens. So they're still working fine, but they took a long time to do, so I didn't get all the jobs done that I was hoping to get done. So I've still got to do the rear brake hose on the GSX. I've also got to do the calipers on the van, and I've got to replace, and I've still got to do the headlight on the van. The headlight has turned up, which you'll see in a minute, so I can get that, hopefully get that job done today. It's a bit of a late start, which didn't help with Nan getting tea and bacon sandwiches sorted out, but I've struggled through that and now I'm ready to start. So headlight, van headlight, van calipers, and possibly, if I can get to it, the rear brake hose for the bike. I've also got, and let me take you for a quick wander here, new toys. There we go. Hold it right over the way. There we go. New toys. Front and rear paddock stands. I've been on for a while that I need to get a set, and a local store had some on special offer, £25 each. So I bit the bullet and got those. So now I've got the axle stands, and the headlight is here, and the van really needs its eyeballs put back in. I think I don't like it like that. Perhaps that's just me. Right, well, we'll crack on and we'll see how it goes. Right, now I've got both the light units on the deck. So the first thing we do is I do need to change the bulbs from there to there, because it doesn't come with bulbs, and it also doesn't come with this indicator lens on it. So it looks fairly simple. Separate those and push. There we go. There we go. And then it should just slide on to here. I say should. This is not an original part, so oh, it does. There we go. An aftermarket part that does just clip on. Right. Need to get the lights out, so we need to take this bracket here off. It's just held in by a little screw. Looks like it's spring loaded, so be prepared for screws to fly all over the place. One bulb out. I don't want to touch the bulb itself with my fingers, because I believe that is generally not good. Let's take that one out. Plug it into the new one. So it's in there. Move that out of the way for just a second. Again, screw in here, take that out, bunny. Clip back in. Here we go. Right, so when these things ping out, it's good to make a record of how they go back together. But luckily I have one on the other side of the van. Well, luckily, of course I have one on the other side of the van that you can use to show you how to put this one back together. Right, that's that one changed. And then we need each side light bulb. I'm not actually sure how that one's supposed to come out, because that looks like it's in there pretty good. Alright. Not too worried about, or should have been too worried about touching that one. It looked like a normal bulb. Give it a quick rub down. Take that one out. Plug that in. Make sure it's in as far as it will go. Plug that back onto there. Get rid of the old headlight. Tidy the wires up. Take that back on. Reconnect everything up. Stick it back on the van. So taking it off, basically the reverse procedure, put it back on, sorry, the reverse procedure of taking it off. Indicated. Okay. One replacement headlight. Right. Brake time, I think. Right, so we'll do these one caliper at a time. I get all the parts separate and the pads wrapped in a bag so they wouldn't get mixed up. An old sock. Really doesn't want to shift. Still a fair amount of fluid in there actually. There we go. Now it wants to move freely. Lovely. Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Right, it's bloody green. I've never seen green brake fluid before. I thought they've used fairy washing up liquid or something. Nice, thank you. Be warned that although you may have drained your system, it is entirely possible that there will be lots of brake fluid left in your calipers when you try and squeeze your pistons down. I thought I'd got all of this rubbish out. So I'm not going to go mental, I'm not going to try and hit this. Not too overly worried about the stuff that's on the outside, but this looks like it's got a bit of build up in it. I'm just going to grind that out a bit. Yeah, these are really, really grotty and nasty. And that really does look like copper grease in those. So I'm wondering if I need to go and get some copper grease. Right, back from the shop. And anti-seize assembly compound, high temperature from -40 to 1150 degrees. Now I put general multi-purpose grease down these chambers on the bike and I'm starting to wonder if it shouldn't have been copper slip. One of them had copper slip, or something that looked like copper slip in it, and the other one had what looked like grease. So I went with the grease because it had to be greased up. Now I'm wondering if that was an incorrect choice. So do I have to change should I, or do I have to change the grease in the brake calipers on the bike? Now we'll give this the once over. There's some debris on here. I'll take this outside and do it, but it's just giving it with the wire brush along here just to get rid of some of this debris. I'm not going to record that, I'll do this outside. So what we need to do, get some of this nice copper grease into there. So let's try a different technique. Last time I just tried to, that seems to work alright. So we'll repeat that process. And I'm sure there are easier and other ways to do this or whatever, but I haven't actually figured them out yet. But if you know of an easier way, then by all means let me know. And just because it might seem obvious, that doesn't always mean to say that I'm gonna get me and obvious sometimes have a difference of an opinion, and obvious doesn't sometimes want to talk to me. But I guess that's just the way it is. Right, so I'll take those out and put them on there like that, and that one on there like that, and then we'll refit the old rubbers, which I should probably replace, but I don't really think that is necessary. That goes on there, that one goes in there, and then those, well, one there, and one on there. There we go, and that moves quite freely. Piston cover. Goes in there. And last but by no means least, L brake pads. And this is where the springs are down there. Goes in like that. And there, that should be ready to fit back on the van. Right, so there we have 2 rebuilt calipers. Time to get them back on the van. Right, getting the calipers back on. Obviously make sure you get the right one for the right side. Put the brake hose on, put the hose on first, because you have to rotate the caliper to get it back on. So you must remember to do that. Right, when we're finished, before we start bleeding, of course, 2 bolts. then with a 14mm bolt, spanner even. Just do the brake hose in. Caliper refitted. Same on the other side. So now that we've got the calipers back on, I reckon it's time to refill the brake fluid reservoir. I know the stuff that came out is green. I'm not sure what that is, but on the top of the box here, on the reservoir, it does say DOT4 fluid from a sealed container. So I see it punch these twice. Once here, I can't remember where I saw this first done, and then another one at the top. And the reason for that is if you try and pour it without this, it can go gloop, 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 and then you don't get a nice even flow of fluid. Now, having said that, I probably won't get one now, but as the fluid comes out of here, the air goes in there, so you should be able to maintain a constant flow. Right, well, this is boring, so I'll stop recording this bit, but I'm just going to fill this up until it gets to the max, and then we'll start recording the bleeding of the brakes. Oh joy, my favourite thing in the world. A bit breezy out here, and that usually screws with the sound on this camera, so I'm not sure how the other side come out, so I'll show you this side as well. I've got one of these easy bleed things. I don't know how good they are, but you need to, like the bike, you need to be able to undo that, or you need to pump the pedal down, undo that, let the air out and the bubbles, do it back up again, release the pedal, pump the pedal down, pretty much like the same as it was on the bike, but I can't do that on my own, so I don't know how good these things are, but we'll give it a shot. Then inside, and depress. You don't need to go at it like a monkey. And you can hear it starting to go out there. A few pumps on that. Let's go and see what that is looking like. I can't see any air in that at all. When the camera focuses on the right bloody thing. No, okay, well, there's no air bubbles in that at all, so I'm going to do that back up and then pump the brakes a bit, see what happens. Okay, that's done for today. Wheels back on. She does need a new battery, like the jumper from Grandad's car, but she does need a new battery. But the wheels are on. The brakes seem alright, they're responsive. Headlight in, everything seems to be fine. The only problems is if that's cured the problem with the front brakes, and the only problems then will be the rear brake being out and the welding. But with working and everything else now, getting the time to come over and do this is getting a little bit on the tight side, because I do need the van back on the road as soon as possible to move some bits and pieces. So all I need to do is get that in, and apart from that rear brake, which may be alright now because it's been freed and used and on and off, and sometimes that frees them up apparently, so that might be alright now. But once I've fitted that, it's going to go back in for an MOT, and then whatever it fails on, I will get the garage to repair, because I just don't have the time to. It takes me so long to do it, I just don't have the time anymore. I need the van back on the road as soon as possible. But hopefully I've saved myself some money by doing these few bits myself, but I'll get her booked in for an MOT, and then we'll see how it goes from there. project Binky MOT done for the moment, for as much as I can do. We'll get it booked in and take it from there. Right, I have got a new set of paddock stands. I'm going to put them together. Right, and the end of a fairly productive day, I managed to get a few things done. I managed to get the calipers back on to the van and the brakes bled. They seem to be working okay. I managed to get the van started, although it's going to need a new battery. I didn't actually start the van while it was on the axle stands, and I made sure it was in neutral, but the front discs did start to turn. I know it needs a new clutch, and I'm thinking that that's going to be part of the repairs that's going to have to be done on the van. As far as the van goes, I'm done on it. I haven't got time now to fiddle and faff around and figure out how to do this and how to do that. I need the van back on the road pronto. So that's going to go back into the garage possibly Tuesday, as I have a day off on Tuesday. So take it in on Tuesday, see what happens with it, get the welding done, see what else needs doing, maybe get a new clutch fitted. It's going to be tight with the funds, but we'll have to manage it. Got the paddock stands put together for the bike, and actually managed to get the bike up on the paddock stands. That's quite a nerve-wracking experience for the first time. Re-lubed the chain. I didn't do a video on that. There's loads of videos out there about lubing chains. If you want to see a good one, I'll put a link into it. It's Delboy again, Delboy's channel. Moonfleet41 is the username, Delboy's Garage. I'll put a link up. There's one, he does a very good how-to on how to clean and lube a chain, so I'll just link to that rather than go through it. I may make one in the future, but I just didn't have time to set the camera up and do everything today. It's getting a bit late again, because it takes me ages to do the simplest mechanical maintenance, repair, upgrade just seems to take me a lot longer. I know there's guys that could strip and rebuild an engine in the time it takes me to do a chain of sprockets, so chain of sprockets, that might be another one. Yeah, that'll make you laugh. Right, anyway, I'm going to finish this cup of tea, tidy up the workbench, put the garage back to how it should be, and then that's me signed off for the night. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Cheerio.